Hello, I'm Dick Church, and welcome to this month's edition of Around the Burg. Today we are visiting the Rivertown Chili breakfast and lunch establishment at 105 South 2nd Street here in Miamisburg. New restaurant in town, and we're going to talk to the people involved in making this another great restaurant in our downtown area. We have 4 guests here today, and they've all got skin in the game, as we were talking before we started taping this show. With me is Mason Downey, Brian
Lucius.
Okay, thank you. I didn't want to goof it up. And Stephanie Downey and John Walucius. Okay, Walucius.
You got it.
All right. Rivertown Chili. Tell us about it. How'd you come up with the name, and is that your featured dish here, or what?
Well, the concept was based around chili, for sure. Chili is one of the most authentic American dishes that there is. It's right up there with barbecue or bourbon. Rivertown Chili, interestingly enough, our original idea was to call the restaurant Canal House Chili, but as you know, Canal House was already taken.
Yes.
So it seemed like there was a theme being established here with Watermark Restaurant, Canal House Eatery, so we decided to stick with the water and river theme.
Sure.
So we came up with Rivertown Chili.
Okay, Rivertown. And we are a river town here in Miamisburg.
Exactly.
Now, Brian, you're the proprietor.
Yes.
But your dad was the founder of the business, John. And Mason is your
He's my business partner and
business
also our
partner,
executive chef.
and the executive chef. And Stephanie, what's your big role?
I'm mainly front of the house, server, trainer. I mainly deal with majority of the time the guests.
Sure. And indeed is a partnership. Yeah. Mason, tell us about your cooking background.
I started out as a grandchild of a retired chef, actually. Throughout the years when all the kids were playing, I was learning how to cook from grandma. I moved on down the roads. I used to work at the national parks as the head chef, Denali, Yellowstone, all them places, putting together menus for service and training people how to do things. A lot of high-end stuff, and I also specialize in breakfast is mainly what I love to do.
And Brian, as owner, or co-owner of this establishment, what are your impressions of Miamisburg since you've been here?
Yeah, I'll tell you, Miamisburg is a great place to do business. If you're a small business, you're not going to find a more supportive and small business friendly environment than we found here in Miamisburg. And the people here in the town really seem to embrace the businesses here and the things that are Miamisburg. The town's just extremely supportive. The people are great. I can't say enough about it. It's a fantastic choice for a place to build your business.
What inspired you to get into the restaurant business?
Yeah, sure. Well, my background's a little more varied than Mason's. I've done a lot of different things. I worked 15 years up at MetLife on Springboro Pike doing insurance, but some of my first jobs as a teenager were working in kitchens. And before I went to MetLife, I ran a Waffle House for 5 years. And of course, my family has the chili making tradition, so that's been in my blood since way back. And one of the things that I took with me from my years at Waffle House was, most people think about breakfast when they think of Waffle House, but Waffle House does make chili. It is one of their feature items, and one of the things that I noticed about my 5 years at Waffle House is everybody's got an opinion on chili. That was the menu item that seemed to elicit the strongest opinions, strongest response from people. And the other thing I noticed is everybody's got a story about their chili. A story about the hottest chili I've had, the best chili I've had, the worst chili I've had, my mom's chili, my grandma's chili. And I started to put that together, and I thought, a chili restaurant seems like a great idea, and then combined with the fact that no one else is really doing it. I mean, there really aren't any chili parlors in the Dayton area. I mean, it's tradition in Cincinnati, but once you get outside of Cincinnati, in this part of the country, you just don't see it.
Okay, but now the chili part of it, the people don't order that for breakfast, do they?
That's what I thought at first too.
Yeah.
And then I started playing around with a few things. I got a very imaginative mind about things. And it turned out it worked with the flavors he has with the breakfast. So I ended up doing like a gourmet type style breakfast, added with the chilies and with the 3 different types of chilies we usually have, and sometimes a 4th. It just works. They marry together really nicely.
How do they find out about your restaurant, Brian? Online?
Yeah, we're online. We've got a website. We've got a Facebook page. We're on Instagram. Probably by following us on Facebook is the best way to find out what we're doing. We update that almost daily, and you can find our specials or anything that's going on in the restaurant is going to be communicated that way.
Okay. Stephanie, you know those call letters for the internet that
It's just Rivertown Chili on Facebook.
Yeah.
We also do have a website as well, but like Brian said, the best way to know what we're doing is follow us on Facebook.
Okay.
Constantly putting up pictures, constantly putting up videos, and like I said, that's the best way to find out what our specials are.
tell us about those weekly specials.
I just, whatever hits me at the time, I just kind of come up with weird ideas. Like I pick things that I think taste good. Like the one I did last week is based on a seafood boil. And I married it with an omelet and it worked. And it tastes good and it looked good.
What's the Wednesday test kitchen?
The Wednesday Test Kitchen is
Or
basically...
club, I mean, not restaurant.
The club is basically, if you join the club and you eat, what was it, 10, you come in every Wednesday, you get like a free meal for 2 or a t-shirt or something like that.
It's
We haven't
free
quite
meal and
fine-tuned it yet, but we're making a club out of it, so it's like an exclusive thing.
Okay. Good enough. John, tell us, how do you feel about all this, since you're the founder of this? Give us your background.
How do you like the monster we created?
And my background in restauranting is working on chili recipe for 30 years or more. I started playing around with it at home and came up with a recipe that everyone in the family just raved about, and every family gathering for a birthday they would want me to make chili. And back about 1995, I decided to enter a chili contest, a local contest, and I won first place. So that kind of spurred me on to develop my recipe and enter more contests, some of which I did well in and some I didn't do too well in. But, and that became the foundation, I think, for the chili business and for one of our primary recipes.
Are you proud of what these young guys are doing here?
I
And
am,
ladies?
very much so.
Okay. The reason I asked that, my father founded Church's Flower Shop, and when my brother and I took it over, he was there daily watching us, make sure we did it. You know,
He does
right.
the same
And,
thing. He's got to taste the chili.
we try to do things, and every now and then Dad said, "You sure that's going to work?" Well, that's good to have a family relationship like that. How do you appeal, Stephanie? How do you appeal to families?
Well, we're a more family-oriented atmosphere. The way that the place looks and feels, it's like grandma's home out on the ranch. We also can cater to different types of dietary needs. We have children's menus that we can do, keto diet, Atkins diet, carb-friendly. We even have the vegan chili. We can do anything vegetarian. So we cater to all different types of people, not just a set core people.
And how many different types of chili, Brian?
Well, the types of chili that we do are essentially unlimited. One of the philosophies is to try to showcase every chili that exists in the world at one point or another. Now, we typically have 3 to 4 chilies at a time. We always have our house recipe, which is our John's Dayton style.
Right.
That chili is designed to be a chili that most people in the Miami Valley would be familiar with, the kind of chili that mom or grandma probably made. Not to be confused with a Cincinnati style chili, nothing like that.
Right.
Because as you know from people around here, the chili that we make is not a Cincinnati style
Right.
chili.
Yeah.
It's got the beans in it, kind of the, tomato-y, ground beef, that kind of thing.
Sure.
Then we've got our Clashmore Red chili. Now that is an authentic Texas style chili. That chili could be entered into a legitimate chili competition. It's a little more spicy, it's got a little more kick. Then our third chili is our vegan chili. That chili is designed to appeal to the person that's the vegetarian or vegan that says, man, I would love chili, but I can't find any vegetarian chili anyplace. If that's you, we've got the dish for you. The fourth chili is either a heritage recipe chili, some iconic recipe, or some type of handcrafted small batch chili that we create. So if there's any famous chili out there, that chili at some point is going to be created here under our heritage recipe.
Sure.
This past week we did a chili that was made famous in Hollywood. It was Liz Taylor's favorite chili. Legend is that she ate that chili every day on the set during the filming of Cleopatra. And so we had that this past week, and then this weekend it'll be something different, and it rotates.
Okay, now how's that different from regular chili, the Cleopatra?
I thought it was good. It just it had a milder taste to it than what I like in this chili. I like spicy stuff, but it was really tasty.
I like spicy, but my stomach doesn't. Let's take a little pull here. And I'll start it off. When we had the ribbon cutting, you had different things out. John, I like your chili.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah. What's your favorite of the 4?
Out of the 4, actually, I like the John's. It's got a good flavor to it. You can
Yeah.
just munch on it anytime you want to.
Right.
It's tasty.
It all depends on my mood. It'll change from day to day.
When you go to the spicy, what kind of mood you in?
I probably, the spicy chili is my go-to chili. The spicy chili kind of wakes you up a little bit. You asked about chili for breakfast. Yeah, a cup of coffee and a little bit of spicy chili, I'm ready to go.
Stephanie, what's your favorite?
My favorite's always been John's. I don't like spicy, and you can ask these guys every day that I work, I always get a cup of chili.
Now you might surprise me, but I would assume that since your namesake, that's your favorite.
John's chili is my favorite, and I like it, and our patrons like it.
Good. Well, I know it was very tasty. Brian, what is the International Chili Society?
Sure. Well, the International Chili Society is the governing body that sanctions the World Championship Chili Cook-Offs. So my father and I are both members of the International Chili Society, and we have entered ICS chili cook-offs in the past. There's actually only one in Ohio. As you might guess, most of them are in Texas. But if you want to be a world champion chili cook, you've got to win an ICS competition.
Have you won any prizes? Any different?
Oh, yes.
I didn't know they had these events for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not a ICS sanctioned contest, but many others I've entered. I have won prizes frequently, and I won the grand prize at the Trotwood Fall Festival back in '95.
Okay. I've heard of pie baking contests at the county fair, but I've never. Brian, what is the elevator pitch for Rivertown Chili?
Yeah, in a nutshell, our elevator pitch for the restaurant is this is the American chuck wagon meets the gourmet breakfast.
Okay.
That tells you everything you need to know about the kind of food you're going to find here.
We know it's a chili place. What else?
I do smoked meats. I used to do competitions out west where I'm from. I look at smoked meats as a flavor. So I use different types of wood for different flavors, different types of meat. And I add it to like our chilies or our breakfasts.
Just eggs, bacon, or?
Oh, well, we have a basic one, the center path breakfast, which is eggs, bacon, and potatoes. It's just the basic. I'm known for pretty much coming up with weird off-the-wall stuff. So omelets is a huge thing. I also do quiches, which we haven't put on the menu yet. My Benedicts are amazing. I just like to make different varieties of different things.
How about pancakes?
I do pancakes as well.
Okay. So it's a full-service breakfast?
Oh yeah, we have some French toast,
And
French
you
toast.
stir some chili in.
Yeah, we have a homemade hash that I make. I actually smoke the meat. It's a brisket. I add a little bit of pork to it,
Sure.
and it's got potatoes, and it's really tasty. We just put that one on the menu.
Okay. How do people respond when they come in?
A lot of people are surprised. They come in thinking that it's just a chili place, because that's mainly what our name says, is chili.
Wow.
And then they look at the menu and they're like, really, you serve breakfast? Like, yeah. Like, well, breakfast with chili? I'm like, just try it. Try the breakfast burrito or try the Southwest chili bowl. You'll understand how it works. And most of the time, clean plates. Barely ever do I have to give a box to people. Most of the time they clear their plate and they say that was the most amazing breakfast they've ever had. They never would have thought chili would marry with breakfast, but it really does.
Well, it's also the quality of the stuff.
Exactly, and the plating is beautiful. They're just really surprised at the quality that we have.
Right. Why should people come here?
We're different. You know, you can go to Bob Evans, you can go to Perkins and get the same thing every day. That's all they serve is the same thing. We're completely different. Where else can you go and get a cup of chili with a sunny side up egg on top of it? Or like our specialty omelet right now that's got like a seafood boil, like Mason said. Where else are you going to get that?
If you want something that's creative and authentic, this is your place.
Okay.
This is not the place where you're going to come and something's going to come out of a freezer, a bag, a box. This is where
It's all fresh.
the recipes come out of Mason's mind and my mind, and we create it from scratch.
Knowing nothing about chili, I do make chili at home, but it's my wife's recipe.
We can make it and we'll feature it one time.
I kind of throw put the stuff in it
That's no
more
problem.
than she normally would put in here. But I asked you to submit me some questions, and one of them on here, you're pickling in-house. Now, what are we talking about?
Mason?
I originally started, I learned to pickle years ago with my grandmother.
Okay.
I'm from a really old school. I grew up out in Oregon and on an old farm.
Now, what do you mean by pickling?
It's basically ways of preserving foods back in the old days. Yeah, canning stuff. I originally started doing it just to save us some money.
Sure.
Because we put pickles on all of our sandwiches and stuff. And then the customers just started loving this stuff. So now I'm pickling all kinds of crazy stuff. Just whatever comes to me. I do pretty much any kind of pickle you can think of. And other stuff.
What's your hours of operation?
So we're open Wednesday through Saturday from 7 to 2:30, and then on Sundays from 8 to 2.
8 to 2. So people, if they want to come in after church?
Definitely, after
This
church
place to
rush.
come.
Yep.
Okay.
The only thing I do ask is that if it's a table of 6 or more, please call us
Call in
ahead.
advance.
We're a rather small restaurant, and
Right.
we want to be able to set up a table for you.
Sure. Good idea. We have several restaurants here in a row. Does that help or what?
Actually, yes, it does. It brings a lot of people to this area. We support all restaurants that come through here. We invite the business. I think it works real nice.
Yeah, it definitely helps. It's the, you know, the more the merrier. It just makes it a destination place.
Sure.
Gives people options, and
Yep.
you know, you come down and try one place and see another place and say, hey, next time let's check that place out.
Right. Do you have interfacing with the different businesses?
We do have relationships with some of the businesses here in Miamisburg. You know, we buy product from Alcor. Mason, you want to talk about our relationship with the vegetable stand?
Oh yeah, we buy all our vegetables fresh, like I said, farm to table, basically what our philosophy is here. John's produce stand, also known as Jerry's produce stand, he's buying it right now. We support him as a really small business. All of his stuff mainly comes from the Amish and stuff like
Sure.
that, so it's very fresh.
Yeah. Now, there used to be a place in downtown Dayton that sold produce.
Mhm.
We had one here in Miamisburg years ago. It was Tomatoes,
Mhm.
and it was right on Main Street.
Yes.
In Main and Central,
Okay,
right down where Ron's is located, where the parking lot is now, to be
gotcha,
accurate.
gotcha.
And they sold, I remember when I was a kid, they would sell the produce to different restaurants and so forth.
I think we're the only restaurant that John's goes through right now. But there's a small little stand. It's right at the end of Robinson Street, by the Marathon down the road.
Yeah, down by the Marathon
Yeah,
Station.
just a little tiny
Close
produce
to the
stand. We do a lot of
bridge.
business.
Oh,
with it.
yes,
Yes.
there's on South.
Yeah, that they supply all our potatoes, all of our
Right.
vegetables, all
Right.
kinds of stuff.
That's, for the old timers here in town, that's down where the Miami Cruise Inn and Auto Theater
Yes.
used to be.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right, and Bud's Trailer Park.